This is terrible. This is a catastrophe.
You just feel like things are kind of falling apart.
Gushing crude oil, filthy, sludgy water, public health and wildlife threatened. But this big spill is not on the Gulf Coast. This is Chopper 5 showing you what's going on today in Salt Lake City. Leaders say they will clean it up as quickly as they can, and some homeowners are concerned.
You gonna come by my house and take a smell of it right now where my kid lives downstairs?
If you would like to, you can give me your information afterwards. I'd be happy to. It does go through my backyard as well.
Good evening. Lots of video tonight of Utah's unnatural disaster. From this exclusive Chopper 5 video, you see the beginning of the leaking Chevron oil pipeline at Red Butte Creek this morning.
Each minute, nearly 50 gallons of crude oil went into the creek. Crews later capped the leak, but the damage was done. The filthy, gooey, oily stream flowed into backyards, then into a pond at Liberty Park near Tracy Aviary. Some oil has already entered the Jordan River, and workers are keeping an eye on the Great Salt Lake. By our estimates, up to 21,000 gallons of crude oil was released today. Red Butte Canyon pipeline comes from Colorado and supplies the refineries here in Salt Lake City. Recovery efforts will undoubtedly continue for weeks at least. We start our team coverage tonight with John Hollenhorst at Red Butte Garden. John?
Well, Carol, as one local official put it, all disasters are local, and now we have our own local version with Chevron in the bullseye instead of BP. The pipeline leak was here just a few steps from the Red Butte Arboretum. Perhaps 20,000 gallons leaked for many hours before anyone noticed. Before officialdom knew anything was happening, Red Butte Creek was running grotesque shades of black and brown. People walking their dogs noticed a stench permeating the city's east side.
Dog ran ahead of me and went down into the water, unfortunately, and it became obvious that the whole creek was awash with petroleum.
The first call to authorities came from the Veterans Administration Hospital just before 7 a.m.
We put some absorbent booms into the creek there to try and catch what we could catch.
They quickly traced the oil upstream and found the leak at Red Butte Garden, a 10-inch wide Chevron crude oil pipeline leaking underground, heavy crude bubbling out of the ground into the creek. In a stroke of luck, a crew from Big D Construction was working nearby, unrelated to the leak.
Right away, they stopped what they were doing on their job, brought over heavy equipment, and began building the dams, dikes, and ponds to help us contain this.
Their immediate response was critical to minimizing the impact of this leak.
Chevron's refinery manager admitted he didn't know about the leak until the fire department called him.
It was shut off immediately after I became aware of it.
Chevron says it's accepting full responsibility.
That means we'll take responsibility for any financial damage, for any environmental damage, for any safety concerns or impacts on other people's health.
And the cleanup?
Absolutely, and the cleanup, yes.
Chevron says it has electronic monitoring to reveal leaks when they happen, but there are indications it may have leaked for hours. Firefighters aren't sure if a nearby power failure Friday night was related.
The pipeline may have been leaking as early as 10 o'clock or shortly thereafter last night.
During those intervening hours, the crude oil made its way all the way to Liberty Park, which was shut down for the first time in memory. It caused concern at Tracy Aviary.
The flamingos have moved inside just as a precaution. We are seeing signs of oil in some of our water.
We're still assessing what the source is in terms of what created the problem. We will get to the bottom of how this happened.
Well, it's just kind of like the oil spills going on in the Gulf, so you just kind of feel like, you know, it feels like kind of like bad energy that way.
No explanation yet why Chevron's leak detection system failed to detect the leak. The chilly, windy weather was an advantage today because it helped alleviate concerns about health effects from the smelly fumes circulating through the area. But people with breathing problems are advised to leave the area and to check with a doctor if they feel symptoms.
All right, John Hollenhorst, thanks very much.
The oil